Hello and welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is Chart Request Live. I'm joined, as always, by my esteemed co-host and friend, Patrick Dunawilla of the Chart Report. Hey, Pat.
Hey Stevie, every time, man, those are just getting longer and longer lows, and I don't hate it.
It might be a bull market thing. I don't know. But the point is we have so much to discuss
We sure
today.
do.
We haven't talked really since the fireworks started going off Thursday of last week, right? And
Yeah,
I think what you're showing right here on your chart is the Russell 2000, and that first candle breaking out of this beautiful little triangle pattern that you've drawn was Thursday, and then we had follow through Friday, and then we had follow through on Monday, and now we have a massive Maribozu again today. I mean, is this a clear and decisive breakout?
I mean, is it's like better than the textbook, right? I can't
This
remember
could
the
be the
time.
textbook. This is so
Yeah,
good they're
right,
going to add it to the textbook.
right. But what a resolution. I mean, as you said, there's no doubting that this is a breakout.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how it resolves in the next few days. I mean, are we just going to keep going like this, or do we kind of build a nice little bull flag and consolidate for a few days? I'm really interested to see what that kind of, not correction, but what that consolidation phase kind of looks like.
I don't think we could or should want to keep going like this, but this is how you want to kick off a pattern resolution, transition from maybe a sideways trend to an uptrend. I think if you zoom out on this chart, you could show people what that transition looks like, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, like really going into a stage two, right? Um, Stage two uptrend, right?
From down on the left-hand side to sideways for too long, in my opinion.
And
Yeah.
I was looking at the IWM the other day, and I was thinking if we continue building, this right side of the base, it's not unrealistic to say we could be, the Russell 2000 could be at all-time highs by the end of the year. I mean, what does that look like? I mean, here's the end of the year, right? I mean, that looks like a normal base, right? If it just kind of, even if we correct here and then make another thrust up, I
It's
mean,
10%. I
yeah,
think we get there by the end of the quarter.
it's only 10%. Is that what we're down now?
Yeah. Like
Wow.
220 to 240, right?
My gosh, it wasted no time. It went from being down like 20% to just bam.
Because
Wow.
it did, hasn't it done 10% just over the past like 5 trading days?
I believe so, probably. Let's look at this.
So
Uh,
big catch up there, right? Because everybody's been complaining about the major averages, the large cap averages versus the Russell.
yep.
It
Oh my
happens
God. Yeah.
fast. It happens fast.
Yeah, let's look at that ratio real quick and then we'll dive in. Yeah.
I
Look
mean,
at that. This is IWM versus the Qs rebounding off an all-time low here.
this
Uh,
is how things start. Like we can't look at this chart right now and be like, oh, look, it's a primary trend reversal that favors small. Not at all, right? There's no
right.
trend reversal here yet. What we do want to do is look at this and say, oh, wow, that is a big signal of initiation, right? We see these kinds of thrusts at inflection points in the trend. So I think we look back and maybe a couple weeks or a couple months and say, now the trend is reversed. And that was the big bang that, kind of alerted us all, hey, look over here, something's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And just this probably doesn't feel too great if you chased mega cap growth these last few months. I mean, that was pretty much the only place to be last quarter. So definitely not fun if you chase those and if you're still kind of long or overweight those names. But what this means for the broader market and that breadth expansion that you're getting, I think is really, really positive.
And look, bull markets aren't about feeling great or feeling smart. They're about making money, right? So if
Absolutely.
you weren't positioned correctly or appropriately for this move that began literally 4 or 5 sessions ago, then there's still time, right? Like you can
Yeah.
make those changes now. This isn't behind us. This is like the things that we're saying. This is new trend stuff. This is
Yeah.
starting point price behavior. So don't look at something like this. Oh, I missed small caps. No, you didn't. Small caps were not a place to be this whole cycle, right?
Right.
Like this is
Right.
just kicking off with quite a bang, right? So maybe you don't have to buy today, but just look at these dips. Look at the dips in regional banks. Look at something like a candle like Morgan Stanley today. It's not a regional, it's a big bank. Well, like it came in and then it rocketed higher, giving a little bit back now, but that's not a bearish candle.
No, it sure is not.
Home builders, one down day, up another 5% today. These trades, the trends that kicked off with a bang Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week, we're now getting massive follow through to start.
We've gotten follow through for 3 days now. Like, it's been fun. Anyway,
listen, as much as I would love to just sit here and talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about, we got a stacked list of requests today.
We got to give the people what they want. Let's go.
We're gonna start with one of our favorites, one of our favorite friends of the show, Wavy. I already know. I didn't need to even see the name. I saw New York Times. I saw Big Base. I knew it was Wavy.
There we go.
As always, your head's in the right place, my friend.
Absolutely. So I've been on this one for a while. I've been seeing this base shaping up for the past probably 2 months. Yeah. And you look at a chart like this and you say, man, if only there were an election coming up, right? I mean, you remember how this was kind of the Trump trade back in, what was it, 2020? Or maybe it was the cycle before. I guess it was probably 2017. But New York Times was the place to be. That was a really good performing stock. Makes sense here. And what I really like about this too is you built the base, but then you also had the handle too to the right. You had the failed breakout in 2020, last election, or after the last election. And then basically Biden's whole presidency, we've been building this little handle. And here we are breaking out now. So I really like this one, Wavy. I think fib it out.
I mean, it's triggering more or less now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of stocks trade based on the business cycle or economic cycle. Others trade on more secular growth cycles. This is an election cycle stock.
Absolutely. I got another one for you though. If you like this one,
News Corp. I know what you like.
You know what I like. So this one.
I'm more of a Wall Street Journal person than a New York Times person, so I approve this message.
So they low key own like everything that finance people read. They own.
Shout out Barron's.
Yeah, they own Barron's. They own Dow Jones and Co., which owns Market Watch and things like that.
Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, and New York Post. I didn't know that. So they definitely stand to benefit from some of the things that are in the news lately.
I mean, Pat, we don't have to sit here and pretend like, the truth isn't real. The last one that he showed you was the left-wing publication stock, and this is the right-wing publication stock.
Right, and I've been kind of saying, like, the real winner of this election is going to be the media, right? And so far we're seeing that play out. Beautiful candle from both of them this week, so I like it, Wavy. That last one, the New York Times, 83 looks like the good target.
They both probably work, right, in this kind of environment. Yeah, and the charts look so ready for what we're about to head into. This news cycle is just heating up.
Right.
I think there's a lot more to come. Neil, could I get your opinion on Saputo Group? Okay, all right. So this is Toronto Stock Exchange, Pat. Saputo, SAPTO. Or it might not be TO, it's TSE. Yeah. No. But get the Toronto. Where's the Toronto one? Go to Canada. Down. See?
All the way. Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. You know what they do?
It sounds. Dairy producer. Cool.
Interesting.
Come on, these are picking it up.
We got that egg farmer breaking out not too long ago. Now we got dairy.
Did you buy Vital Farms? Are you now a proud shareholder?
I did, but then I got stopped out, so it was a tough one. Yeah. But it's okay. We'll give it another try.
It's the price you pay to play.
It is. So this one, it's hard to find a reason why. It's hard to find a reason to buy this one, honestly. It's just like on a relative basis, it's just, if things aren't at or near highs right now and they're just still in a downtrend, there's just so many other better areas. Even as a catch-up trade, I don't know that I see a reason to be in this one. But if you really had to, if you really wanted to, I would look for this trend line to break first. Um, I guess we could maybe drop a VWAP on it, see where that comes in. Yeah, so I'd like to see this area get taken out around 35. And if it does, then you'd be looking at all-time highs up there around 48, 49.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. I mean, it's just, in this sort of environment, when you have these flat kind of trendless charts, there's just so many other better opportunities out there.
And this one was like a secular leader. Like Pat, if you just zoom out and just look at, the 2000s, the 2010s,
Yeah,
great stock. But you want to see more before you go buy. This is not, you're not dip buying in something
right.
like this. This is now a multi-year downtrend.
Right, right. It's been trending lower since 2017. So,
You need to see more. Like I like where you put the VWAP, make it prove itself to you before you get involved. But that secular uptrend that came into this period, before the
true.
past 6, 7 years, don't ignore that, right?
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Absolutely.
All right, what else we got? Here we go. Kenneth, I like it.
What do we
Uber.
got? Uber.
Uber.
You like it?
6 to 9 months. It looks to be setting up with industrials on the move. As you chart it, let me just speak to the classification of
I
Uber.
don't even need to chart it. It's already we already got it all here.
Uber has no home. So I wouldn't think about it as an industrial. I certainly wouldn't think about it as a transport, right? Go look at what transports look like. Uber looks nothing like that. It gets grouped in software by some data providers. I think that's probably the best classification, right?
Yeah,
And then frankly, I would argue that it's more of a discretionary name than an industrial name anyway.
I would
So
agree.
it's
Yeah.
either discretionary, maybe software. Either way, this is a growth stock, not a value.
If you're gonna tell me that home builders are discretionary and this isn't, like what? What?
Right, right, right. This is the
Um,
consumer. This is a consumer brand. So,
real quick, I was looking at the GICS website or the GICS methodology,
yeah,
and it was created after 2008 to kind of standardize the way we look at things and the way we classify things. But I think they did a terrible job of standardizing things. I mean, it's just so many things like fall into multiple categories. There's like 162 different subgroups. So it's always a challenge. But
I will stand by something I've been saying for 5 years now. There will be no tech sector in the future.
I think that's a really hot take, and I think it makes total sense. When I first heard it, I was like, no.
Yes,
And to be honest, I don't think it will ever happen anytime soon. Maybe that in the next couple of years, but you're right. Maybe down the line, I think it makes total sense,
you
right?
take the tech stocks and you figure
Yeah,
out.
why don't you tell people what you're talking about?
You take the tech stocks and you figure out what they are without their tech, right?
Well, eliminate the tech sector and just reclassify
Yeah,
everything.
what sector are you serving? Because everybody's going to be tech.
Right, everything's tech
Years from
these
now.
days.
Everything
Right.
will be a tech stock. So you're going to be the tech, but the tech of what? Right.
Right.
And then I hope that's where we're going, because I think the whole tech sector is what makes such a gray area, right? Because
Right.
Amazon's
Right.
discretionary.
Absolutely, that's what does it. Yeah, that's the culprit.
All right, go ahead. What do you got here? Are we scooping?
We're scooping and scoring, and I love that we're building this base. I mean, this is a classic retest. Bears had their chance to break it, didn't want to. Buyers stepped in. Here we are building this nice little, what is it, 5-month base.
Yeah.
Hasn't completed yet, but man, it's coming out.
Explain what you're doing with your fib ranges. What's going on here? I have
Yeah.
2 fibs.
Yeah, so we get asked all the time, like, how do you draw your fibs? Do you use closing prices? Do you use intraday prices? And it's a great question. So to kind of mitigate that, or to solve that, we basically just do both. We draw it on a closing basis and draw it on an intraday basis, and that gives you a range. So what you're seeing here is within that range, okay, that's where I want to be taking profits. Because we all know that things don't just stop on a dime. It's almost arrogant to say, okay, this is my price target. It's, after that, nothing else. I'm not bullish after that. So it kind of gives you a little bit more of a range.
If you think your analysis is going to work to the penny, find something new.
Right, right. Find a new business. Yeah.
Oh, this game isn't for you. It will never work.
Right.
This is the opposite of perfect. what we do for a living, right?
Right.
We're just looking for logical levels, zones of interest, areas where we think prices might react. We have no fucking clue.
Drawing.
Fibonacci, we're drawing lines in the sky with Fibonacci extensions, right?
Right, right. And what do you always say? You know, we draw support and resistance with a crayon, not a fine tip pen, right?
Their ranges and pat, like when you get there, you could feed the ducks a little bit. I would even
Yep.
broaden it to the pivot highs. You feed the ducks a little there, you feed the
Yep.
ducks a little more at 85, you close the position at 91, right? Scale
Yeah.
in, scale out, and then you're never going to worry too much about penny this, penny that.
Yeah. I think this is total. I mean, I think targets next, 85 plus. This is what you want to watch though. If we get there, you want to see momentum make a new high. I don't know if it will. That could be something that you might want to watch for. Maybe that divergence just tells you it needs to correct and retest again, but maybe just something to watch when we get there. But so far, I think this looks bullish.
Momentum is a lot like breath sometimes, where you get like a high watermark at the beginning of a bull market where momentum just surges. You get some sort of initiation style momentum.
And I feel like a lot of the charts are like that right now, right?
So I would say just look for an overbought reading. Don't look to eclipse the last momentum reading. Just get overbought.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been looking for too. Like basically it's like almost not a divergence. If it, as long as it hits overbought, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then that's the problem. But
I agree. So he's looking out 6 to 9 months. So once you get to that 91 range, if you want more, you got the 261, which 125 to 135?
Yeah, around there, 125, call it. But this one looks great. And even though it might not fit in the industrials, at the end of the day, it's still in the sector. So if managers are buying that sector, they're buying Uber. So to your point, it's breaking out with the sector. It certainly helps to see industrials breaking out too.
So Vicky is next. She has two names that I like that she asked about. She asked about Hood and DraftKings. We're just going to do one because one looks far better than the other.
I know which one you're going to say. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Hood.
Of course. I mean,
right?
Look, Robinhood is a crypto stock now. Have you heard?
Why don't you talk about that? Why do you say that?
They might get the majority of their revenue from equities trading, but they get the majority of their growth, their revenue growth, from their crypto trading, right? So while the pie might look like it's heavy equities, if you do a pie based on the growth, right, it's heavy crypto. So they just bought, what is it, BitLabs? I think it was BitLabs, a crypto exchange or broker, whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that. Was that the reason for the break, or was that a catalyst yesterday, or?
Not yesterday. This was a couple months back.
Oh, okay.
This is back around where you have the VWAP drawing. It was happening like around their last earnings report. So what they're trying to do is diversify, or not even diversify. They're trying to add more exposure to crypto, right, and less to equities. They want to trade more like Coinbase and less like some retail broker. Which makes a lot of sense. That's where the growth is, and I think they're doing that really successfully. So this is now. I wouldn't have called it that, back in the base building process, 2022, 2023, but they are doing more and more crypto. It's to the point where it's very material. I think we treat this as a crypto stock now.
I like it. I mean, hey, you know that space better than pretty much anybody. So if you're saying it, I'll trust it, and it makes total sense what you're saying. And this one really constructive action these last few weeks. Oh. You had a really tight consolidation, and we're finally busting out of that now. Looks like that 36 or 35 is next. But how about this? I mean, we eclipsed that VWAP. Yeah.
The way this fib works out is really special, I think.
Oh yeah. And
show the screen. Pull the y-axis down a little bit just to show that blow off after the IPO. No, the other one.
Sorry. This?
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
But show the base.
Yeah. But I think the fact that we're above that VWAP is really important. And that came in at a really important level there.
Successful retest. That was following last earnings report.
Yeah. So this one looks like it's headed into that 36, 35 level next. And that's looks like where it IPO'd. So you could see some decent selling at that point. Yep. But I think ultimately this thing looks like it's building a base and probably heading back to all-time highs by next year.
Listen, I had an order out yesterday. I have
Real
another
quick, my dad's calling me to talk to
one.
me about his Coinbase
Answer
trade.
it live. Take his
No, but
request.
he wants to talk about Coinbase because he's
Ask him to
long
request
the
a ticker.
coin. So
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Uh-oh. The asset managers, the RIAs are getting onto the
I
Coinbase.
know. No, he's actually been long coin for a while. To his credit, I give him. Yeah.
The Dunawillas are market freaks. In case you guys didn't know, Patrick comes from a market family. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
You guys, you're all involved. I can't
Yeah.
imagine what your Thanksgiving is like with you, your dad, and your brother.
It was very much like dinner talk growing up, you know.
Uh, love it. All right, look, Hood is good. I traded unsuccessfully last earnings report. I've had an order out yesterday. I got another order out today. I'm not getting fills because fast market, but this is one I'm very interested in. I think that they have problems long term, problems that Coinbase does not have. So I don't like it as like a long term hold, but I think you could trade the hell out of it right now.
So you
Ivan,
still like the coin more.
oh God, yeah, it's not even close. I mean, go look at who runs Robinhood, Pat, versus who runs Coinbase.
You're saying the executives.
I'm saying management
Yeah.
management matters, right? The leadership at Coinbase has been absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I think it's really
Robinhood
important how they've gotten in front of regulation. Like they've been leading and
and
spearheading that effort.
and yesterday was big for them. These guys, Brian Armstrong and the good crypto guys have been begging for proper government legislation and just for their industry to be regulated in a way that other industries are regulated, right?
Right.
Begging regulators to do the right thing. This JD Vance guy, who's now on the Republican ticket as vice president, is apparently like the biggest crypto bull in Congress,
Is
like
that right?
as pro crypto as it gets. So I think this is a huge development for the crypto space. All
Yeah.
right, what do we
Absolutely.
have next? PLAB, Ivan.
QLab.
Phototronics. Photronics.
Oh,
Photronics.
is this a semi?
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh man, what a strange chart.
Yep. Semi equipment and materials.
So with this one, I think you probably got to use a VWAP. Look at we're right there now. You could kind of jump this if you do get that breakout. I would like to see maybe this trend line break too. Right here. Oh, you're kind of getting it. So I'd still like to see a little bit more confirmation, maybe close this gap. Finding another reason to, just an added layer, maybe breaking this shelf right here around 30 would give you the kind of confirmation you're looking for. But if you do get that, then you're looking at, what is this, the all-time highs or 34 next?
When I see a gappy chart like that, especially in a market like this one where so many things are working,
Yeah.
right? Like the way this thing has had to like make all these gaps and
Yeah.
then volatile mean reversion moves,
That's what I mean. Like it seems like you'll get these pops and drops, and that's a scary chart.
Yeah, look, investing doesn't have to be hard, guys. This one, just looking at the chart to me is kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. JD, Nicholas, we're not going to provide an opinion on specific options contracts, but we will talk about JD. He's asking, do we think 36 is possible in 6 months?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think this one has probably already made its lows just based on sentiment and just the action that we saw, what was it, 2 months ago? I really do think a lot of Chinese equities have bottomed. So,
I agree with you.
and we've already tagged 36 more or less. I think it looks like we came up a little short of it, but I think it's not out of the question to return to where we were in May.
Yep.
What did he say in the next 6 months?
6 months, yeah. Listen, I'm in. I'm in the Baba.
Yeah, and this is kind of what gets me constructive and why I think we probably bottomed because might seem silly. I know Head and Shoulders get a lot of crap sometimes, but that's how a trend changes. You almost have to have a Head and Shoulders at a major reversal because what is a head and shoulders really? Well, you make a higher low in this case, and that's how a trend reverses. So uh, you have it, and I think this one's going higher than 36, probably, honestly.
We are no longer trying to catch a falling knife if we're buying these Chinese growth equities.
Right.
That's very important to understand. What Pat's drawn here with the head and shoulders is a higher high and a higher low.
Yeah.
So that's out of the way. That's why Pat's saying we're probably not going to revisit the lows. The lows are probably in because we've already made a higher one.
Right, right. Yeah, I forgot that higher high. That's an important component of it too. But yeah,
All right.
I think you could even play it maybe back to 40. Like I wouldn't just play it back to 36. I think it would if you're gonna be in it, probably play it to 40.
Yeah, it's going to make a higher high.
Yeah, yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Okay, next, Fastenal, FAST. This is a big earnings name. Early earnings read.
This one was on New Highs Boulevard. You remember that?
Fastenal was?
I think so, yeah. Or, no, it was Advanced Auto Parts.
Yeah. This is a big like manufacturing
Oh, okay.
conglomerate. Yeah.
Oh, so they're not retail. I don't know why I thought that.
No, they make like nuts and bolts and stuff. Fasteners.
Ah, fast and all. Classic retest. Successful one too. Very successful. He got the breakout earlier this year, ran up nicely, pulled back, retest. Now you're looking for a higher high. Let's fit it out, see where it goes. And this one has been a long-term leader, right, Steve? Look at that. It already hit that target perfectly, and then that's where it started pulling back. Now you're looking on that next thrust, maybe near 100, so near 99.
And yes, Pat, secular leader, for sure. You zoom out
zoom out.
like this. Really good. I also think they pay a decent dividend. Yeah.
Wow.
Basically market average yield.
That's one hell of a chart. Yeah, that's nice. A little extended, tough to get in here, but be buying weakness down to 64 all day.
What if you dropped a VWAP from the highs?
Oh, good question. Hey,
nice,
let's look at it in daily. Oh, look at that. You're getting that nice breakout today.
All right, look, I want you to rip through these so that we can get to the chat. It's already 1:35.
Sure.
HLX. 2016 highs. Something to do with energy.
Looks like I already have it marked up here. We must have looked at it before. Wow, this shelf clearly important. In the last 2 weeks, we finally cleared it. So something's going on here. Definitely interesting. Just draw this little base here. Right, dropping daily here. Yeah, I like that a lot. Very nice. If it's above 12, looks good. Let's find a price target. Man, wow. Gotta go all the way out on this. Gotta go to a monthly. This almost looks like GE, doesn't it?
Probably oil field services. Yeah, equipment and services.
Oh, we'll look at that real quick. But man, it's really at an important spot. If it takes out this trend line, and depending on how you draw the trend line, maybe you draw it on a closing basis and it's already doing it. But this is at a really important spot here. And if it keeps moving higher, back to the price targets, let's see. Oh my gosh, this level just keeps getting more and more important, right?
Yeah, that's incredible. Look at this.
Yeah.
That's a confluence of interest.
Yeah. I would be looking for around 18 next. I think you could even play it back to this shelf from 2014, around 28. If you get this, what would I use for confirmation? I would probably wait for like 1350 as a solid confirmation.
Basically the trend line break.
Yeah, but yeah.
Can I just share with you my favorite oil field services name that I'm super
Absolutely.
Valaris, VAL.
Valaris, okay.
So I don't just want the juice. Like something that I know about myself is I need the juice, right? Like I need beta. or trading is just not.
Listen, I admire that you know yourself as a trader. I think that's really important. I'm not even joking. I think it's a
I
really
kick
important thing to really look. And why do you know yourself? I mean, that comes as a result of years of making
losing a lot of
mistakes.
money.
Yeah, yeah, and having to fade yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm
I
sorry, I interrupted.
I
You
need to know
introduced.
I need to know that if I'm right, I'm going to be rewarded in a way that makes me very happy, right?
Mhm.
It's what brings me to sit at this desk for hours and hours, day after day after day after day after year after year after year, right? Valaris has warrants. Imagine you could buy leaps like 5 years into the future. That's ultimately what warrants are, right? They're far, far out of the money still. They're so juicy. And we got a multi-year range breakout here.
Yeah.
All right. We'll leave it at
Uh,
that.
no, absolutely.
Next, AEIS. Jonathan. Weekly chart. He's asking for a weekly. Large base forming. About to break out to all-time highs. Electronic production equipment stock. It seems like you're fishing in the right pond.
This
This
is
is one of those tech groups.
AEIS. Huh.
Electronic components, right?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of those have been popping up lately.
Looks like an energy stock, though.
Are these electronic components? Is that in tech or is that
Well, they service all different industries, right? It's one of those quasi.
right?
So let's see what these guys do specifically. Engage in the provision of power electronics conversion products, AC/DC power supply, DC/DC conversion, high voltage amplifiers, plasma power, controllers. That's cool. Denver, Colorado.
Hey,
0.35% yield. Love that.
so you got kind of base on base here. I mean, I guess you could call it a cup and handle. It doesn't really matter. The point is, it's uh, an accumulation pattern, and we're pressing up against those all-time highs. Not quite there yet. I think I'd like to see 121 before I would get in this one. But this is
If you
good.
zoom out, this has been dead money for like 25 years. This is a base on base on base.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh wow, yeah. I see what you
Base on
mean.
a base on a base on a base on a base.
Yeah,
We've been handling for like, I don't know, 10 years.
right. What I called the cup was really the handle, right?
Yeah. But that's
Um,
powerful, right? Like
right,
when
right.
this one does finally go,
Because you're getting the breakout in multiple time frames, right? So it doesn't matter if you're kind of a shorter term swing trader or you want to buy this one for your IRA. Looks pretty good here. So let's flip it out real quick and then 160. Yeah. 125 gets you 160.
love it. I'm into it. All right, look, you got to move faster, son.
Let's go. Let's go. What do we got next?
I'm kidding. Atlassian,
What is that? ATL?
team. I think it's team.
Oh yeah, right. Atlassian. Oh man.
This was a great stock. Past
It
couple of
was. Yeah, it was for a while. I remember that. It's kind of messy at this point. Real trendless action.
Yeah, this is a slop job. Good luck.
Yeah, it's hard to find a reason to buy this one here or
Can we
get
just say this
excited.
is a no and move on?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I
too
think
much
okay.
looking
Yeah.
stuff. This is
It's
a
a no.
sloppy mess.
Yeah. Save yourself that. I guess
And
okay, if you're real short term, maybe you buy this head and shoulders here.
there you go.
Yeah. You
That's
play
not
it back to this gap fill here around 230. Still a nice move.
Yeah. And then if we're back at 230, we like it a lot more at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I love this next question. BX or KKR? I show them both.
Yeah. So Blackstone,
KKR.
sorry, I have all these old drawings. Yeah, this one's an interesting one, right?
I love this company.
So it kind of built this like little box here, right? It's just
Yeah.
tight consolidation, this range. Oops.
Coming off a nice rounding bottom.
Yeah.
That would be like continuation pattern 1 in new primary uptrend.
Yep. But it looks really textbook, right? Just structurally looks really clean. You had the trend line break first, a very well-defined trend line here. You had that break, you had the higher lows, and now you have this. Wow, it's basically all year it's been consolidating, and you're just now starting to break out with the rest of the financial sector. So you'll probably get some overhead supply here at 150-ish at the old highs, just south of 150. Um, I don't even think this one builds a bait or builds a handle. I think this is kind of the
That
handle
is the hand.
action, right? So I think this one, if you get back to that 148 or 150 level, then you're probably dealing with a breakout and you're looking at 198, call it 200. Um, Nice, solid psychological level too. Makes total sense. 150 gets you 200. And then the other one, KKR, already working. This one's already been at blue skies. It broke out in January. So off the bat, I'm just going to say this one, but let's look at a ratio chart. And also let's see where this one is at. Okay, so we're there, but we're breaking out. So it looks like this one wants to go to the next one. I mean, if it's above 109, you got to be erring on this. You got to be looking to 150 up here.
So
And
yeah,
yeah, go
this
ahead.
would be like the industry leader in private
KKR.
equity. Yeah, they just got added to the S&P 500. I think it's the first private equity company in the S&P 500. So that's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no others? Like Blackstone isn't in there? Really?
Who?
Blackstone's not in there?
They're not private equity though. They're fund manager.
Blackstone?
Yeah. I wouldn't call Blackstone private equity.
Really?
Oh, no. Oh, Blackstone is private equity. They're not in there. I'm sorry. I thought you meant BlackRock. Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
No, Blackstone's not in there. KKR
Blackstone isn't in there, you said.
is not.
Oh, wow.
I think they'll be the next to be added.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Based on size, they're the next largest. Those are always the two best ones. Carlyle Group looks great. Apollo. I just like the industry.
Yeah.
I think you're right. You chart them out. It's been KKR. It's still KKR. Maybe
Yeah, so this is the ratio chart. It's kind of a mess. I mean, you can see there's not a real dominant leader, but for the last few years it's been KKR, and like we were just looking at, the fact that that one's already breaking out, already hit its target and doesn't even want to stop there. It's just continuing to go. So if you had to pick between one or the other, probably KKR, but that's not to say Blackstone's bad. I mean, this looks
what else?
Yeah.
You know what else you could do, Pat?
What?
You could buy half of each.
There you go. I think why it's so hard to do that and why most people don't want to do that is
They
because
want to pick winners.
right. Well, you're going to be wrong, or you're going to have some sort of regret, right? Where you're saying, "Oh man, I should have just bought all Blackstone if this one went."
100%.
But it's like you can't look back on your decisions like that. You got to look at them with the information you had at the time, and the uncertainty that was there at the moment. So
we are here to make money, not to be right and make ourselves feel smart.
Right.
Like throw all of that out. It doesn't matter. The market's going to make you feel dumb over and over and over and over again. But if you're lucky, you can extract some gains from it as it makes you feel stupid. But that's it. No,
I could not have said that better. Yeah.
Listen, Mark's the man. Looking at a long entry on AGI above 1730.
AGI, like this one.
The 11-year base. Listen, remember the Alamo. This is your leader.
Remember the Alamo. What? Man, you look at too many charts.
This is your leader. It's been the leader in the gold mining space. Now that gold is really rocking.
Please tell me you've used that for a post.
Well, remember the Alamo? No. Not yet. Not yet, at least.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is a great.
Sorry, I interrupted you, but go ahead. Tell them why we like this one.
It's a leader. Like before gold was working, this name was working. It's popping up on our scans. We're like, how is a gold miner popping up on our scans right now? Gold's at 52-week lows. This one was working then. It's going to keep working now, I think. Yeah,
and I can't think of a stronger gold miner or a more resilient one that was holding up like this. I mean, this is kind of like what you've been seeing in the miners the Bitcoin miners the last few weeks. When gold wasn't breaking out yet and it kind of looked sketchy, this one was telling you that gold was about to rock, just like the Bitcoin miners were telling you not to worry about the
Right.
breakdown in Bitcoin last week. So just a similar lesson there. But this one, I totally agree with him. I think he said 1750, right?
1730, yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, I think that gets you back to all-time highs at 21. And from there,
And
party's
pivot
probably
out.
just getting started there. Yeah.
Then I think you're probably looking at like a double. The
Yeah,
fib,
at
the
least.
fib's not even going to do it justice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
What?
32, but a base like this, to Steve's point, like it doesn't just stop at the 161 and then call it a day. It might stop there, retest like we saw on I forget what that chart was, but you might get that, but I think it was Fastenal. Um,
Yeah.
but ultimately, I think this base resolves much higher and it probably doubles.
Yeah, if
Uh,
you measure that base out, you're looking more at like what, 40, 38?
oh, you're saying like just a measured move?
Yeah, we just measure it out. Like I'm just doing napkin math, 2 to 20, tack on 18,
Yeah.
38.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the better way to do it here. It's kind of hard to do it in a log scale, but
Listen,
um,
Donovan, another friend of the show, Jacob Solutions, Jay, decade-long cup and handle in the making. And then we're
for
finally going to hit the chat. We didn't forget about you, chat.
what am I looking at?
Jay, Jacob's Engineering or Jacob Solutions, I guess it is now. Yeah. Ooh, look at that.
Look at that. Why am I in a monthly? Either way, I like it.
Nice.
Man, looks great. I'm guessing, what is this, an industrial?
Yeah, I think so. Spaces was fun today.
Yeah, it was. It's always fun though.
I mean, look, if you're not having fun in a bull market, that's
You
another
never,
sign for you, right?
yeah. Reminds me of one of Bob Farrell's rules. He's a legendary technician. He's got a famous 10 rules, and when I think the last one is bull markets are more fun than bear markets. And it's funny, but it's so true. It's man, bear markets are grueling.
So good.
Yeah. So this one, it's there. I don't even think you need to wait for confirmation. I think you had the fail breakdown, but you didn't even get much follow through. You had a higher low here. We're scooping and scoring.
You're above any VWAP that you could drop.
True. Yeah. Yeah. We don't even need to drop it. We already know. 177, 150 gets you to 177.
Yeah, I like it. All right,
Like,
chat. We are here. Michael, the UFPT chart. Is this one of these crazy Chinese like tiger brokerage names? What is this UFPT?
oh, what is this? What is this thing?
No, hold on. No, it's not. Oh, this is medical devices.
Whoa.
Wow. What a chart, huh?
I know. Yeah.
2.5 billion. That's it. All right.
Wow. Look at that. Really respecting the fibs here. You got the breakout in February. It was a little sketchy. You had the kind of scoop and score. Then we hit this and we've just been flatlining basically. Actually, you got the successful retest and just flatlining there. But then you finally broke out. What was it? Early, the first day of the month. So, man, in just 1 month, it went from 1/5, or not even a full month, 2 weeks. We're already at that second one. So I think you'll probably pause around here at least. I mean, similar to like what happened here, you got a retest, and so this would probably be a great place to be taking profits if you're already long. I wouldn't start a long position here as much as beautiful as this chart looks. It's probably not a great time to be buying it.
No.
I think you either want to see a retest of this, so maybe be buying weakness down to 260 if you get it, or you wait for the consolidation at 330 and then the eventual resolution there, which would get you to, man.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's overbought on every time frame.
Yeah. But yeah. But I would say that's so encouraging right here that you're seeing weekly RSI confirming the move right here. So what a great chart. Yeah.
10x off the COVID low. So this one does like packaging solutions for the medical industry, which seems like a pretty good business to be in.
Yeah, apparently. My gosh. Was this a COVID play? Like, was it?
I remember.
maybe all the PPE and stuff that was going around that time.
I mean, it drew down less than 50%. Oh no, never mind. It drew down in COVID. Yeah, less than 50%, and then went 10x from there.
This is a really nice one. I would say that it's the nicest one of the day, but like I said, it's tough to be buying it here. I think the place to be buying it was this range breakout right here. I'll guess that's earnings. I don't know, but
All right, we got 7 minutes. Amazon.
yeah. Amazon. All right. This was the base breakout heard around the world. The fact that this stock, one of the probably the fourth or third largest stock in the S&P and Nasdaq, hasn't made any progress since the pandemic. I mean, it's really, since the pandemic, it's just gone nowhere for these last 4 years. The fact that it's finally only in the last month starting to make new highs, I think. Yeah, it's pulled back a little, but maybe you're just looking for a classic retest. I wouldn't worry about this thing at all if it's above 175.
It's probably the only Mag 7 name I would start a new position in today.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah.
So Brad heard me talk on the morning show today. Pat, I said, I think in this environment, we would be foolish not to be getting long a chart structure like Zoom.
Okay.
ZM, show the chart since inception.
Man,
how can you not buy this?
You know what? I've what's the other one I've seen pop up on my scans a lot? It's another beaten down.
Unity?
No, the Teladoc.
Yeah.
Just been absolutely murdered. That's
we're not saying to own these, right?
No.
Or make them investments.
No.
In this kind of a tape where they're squeezing all the most heavily shorted stocks, where the trash trade is alive and well, these are some of the best opportunities. You could trade the hell out of this thing. You don't need to own it. You don't have to marry it.
What is short interest like on some of these names?
It's nothing on Zoom. I looked the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. This one, I'd like to see it reclaim 60 first before looking for a potential mean reversion trade. But I mean, there's plenty of room for it to mean revert. If it gets above 60, I think you could even play it up to 87. This gap down level here. I think this is probably a natural resistance area. This gap right here. Anybody who got caught off guard in this gap down, they're just natural sellers in this whole blue area. So if you do get that scoop and score above 60, I think, actually, you know what? I'd probably just play it to 75 here, this shelf. Sorry, I know this chart's a little messy at this point, but right here, I think because it is such a shorter term trade, I'd probably be buying the breakout above 60, playing it back to 75. If you want, maybe just take half off there and then play it back to the upper 80s here.
And they have earnings in August, it looks like?
Yeah. Tuesday, 20th, August 20th.
And it's a trade, right? So Pat's given plenty of logical levels here. I think you probably want to jump the entry and then also jump the exit in something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jumping the exit too. Yeah, it's a good point.
Look, we're gonna skip around here. AbbVie, I don't know if that's really a bull market stock. We're gonna move on.
Okay. But either way, it's trapped below overhead supply, so no go.
If you want to just show Chipotle real quick, CMG. Yeah. AbbVie. Okay. I'm also gonna skip Lemonade, guys. LMND.
Chipotle hit its target, by the way, so I would wait on that one.
That's why I'm saying that. The trade has been made in Lemonade. If you just look at the past couple of candles, it's not something we want to enter today. And then from a primary trend perspective, it needs more time, right?
What about this though? Would you play it up to here, 31? If you're already long, I guess. But
no, I would look at the last 5 candles on the daily and say, I'm not buying this here. This is great.
Right.
I would love to be selling this here.
Yeah.
Right? Great entry coming off. Look, you had a failed break of that range.
Yeah.
That was your entry, right? And then you could have dropped a VWAP somewhere for confirmation. And this is
you're talking about this fail breakdown, right?
Yeah, right there. Yep. So you got the failed breaky, real quick scoop higher, right? That's That's the alarm bell saying, hey, trade this thing. That's where you want to get in. You could drop a VWAP, Pat, from the pivot high or that blow off right there. Either one works. That'll give you confirmation if you're trying to scale in. But now we're back above the range highs. Like, pay yourself.
Yeah.
And the primary trend's not there yet. So let's move on.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Another shout out.
But working in the right direction longer term. Yeah.
Let's do draft. Let's do DraftKings. Good entry point for second half of the year. Look, I'm long common. I have no kickers on it right now. Doesn't look like something I want to really be trading too hard.
So this one almost looks like one of those not a top kind of patterns. Yeah. I mean, we at least have a potential top here. Now that's not to say that it's going to be a top, but we need to be aware that this exists, right? Now this could be a bull's best friend, right? So, and it already looks like it's failing. I mean, this is kind of a head and shoulders pattern. I'm sure we could draw it a little clearer if we dropped it in a daily here. And it's happening right between these two fibs, right? Just pinballing. So if this thing does resolve higher and it starts to make new highs here, that's a failed top. And I mean, I would definitely be looking at 50 as the next target. And then, but I think it's probably going beyond there if this is a failed top. If it's a failed top, you're probably going back to all-time highs at 75, 74.
I love that, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm in the comment. I'm sure we'll put some sort of options contracts on something like this, but it's got to start working more, right?
Yeah. And I know you want to like this one too, so
I do. I'm super long in the IRA.
But just waiting for it to prove it to you.
In the future. Yeah, I love this name. I think this is a big story stock for the future. I think this is a mega trend. I think it's something you just tuck away and look back in 5-10 years. There's a great management team there. Industry leader.
What would make you? What would you use? Would you use a VWAP to prove that it's not a top? What would be your confirmation?
Right there. That's exactly how I would do it.
Yeah. So that comes in around 42, 41.
Yeah. So look, just going through the chat real quick. One Hole makes some comments. You're absolutely right. The regional banks, there's a new rule regarding how much funds they have to hold on hand. They were battering Powell with questions about this. So that's what's happening right now. The regional bank industry is pricing in a world where they're deregulated. And the big banks the same. The big banks are not going to have to follow the same Dodd-Frank Act regulations as the regional banks because they're different. They're very different, right? So it seems like after, Pat, it's been 15 years. I remember this legislation so well after the financial crisis. It's been a burden on the big banks for over a decade now. And they've been complaining, and it's been out in the open, and people in the industry, I used to audit these companies, are very well aware of it. They were complaining about it literally when I worked there more than 10 years ago, right? So it seems like this is a long time coming. I almost think it's bipartisan at this point, which is crazy to think, right? That the other side of the aisle might be down to deregulate financial companies. But that's kind of where this has gotten, because the big banks want to return capital so bad, and they can, and they should be able to. But under the current regulations, they're not allowed to. It seems like the market is pricing in a big way that that's finally going to change. So I'm with you, One Hole. I totally agree. We're going to do one more. And I'm going
real quick with regional banks, though. I mean, we are coming into that spot where we initially gapped down in the banking crisis. This is just a really natural spot for some resistance in the near term. If we just rip through it, my God, we're going back to all-time highs. But you could probably get a retest of this range we just broke out from, maybe hit our head on this, retest this, and then, build up the strength to kind of finally break that gap. That would just be, I'd say, the most likely roadmap, but who knows? We could just rip right through.
It's highly unlikely.
What the heck?
It's highly unlikely. Here's the thing. The regional banks trade, you had plenty of time to enter. It should have been entered at or coming right off the lower bounds, or some sort of confirmation, in the middle of the range as we were rebounding off the lower bounds. This is profit-taking territory. If you were in this for a trade and you're not taking profits, I was taking profits Friday.
Right.
Like the rest of them, I'm out.
Right.
Totally out of the trades, right? This was a great move. RSI, we're overbought, like fantastic. If you're not happy with this and you didn't make money, you did something wrong. Yeah. Right? But that trade has been made. Pay yourself and put it into something that's fresher, right? One more before we run out of here. I got to go to the most recent request because I think it's the best one. Rocket Mortgage, RKT.
I know you like this one.
They've been good to me.
So the Rocket, yeah, this has been a fun stock.
Rocket. It's a great
Um,
name for a
oh
stock.
yeah. Oh, fantastic name for a stock,
And
right?
I mean, look at it, Pat. I mean, look at this thing, right?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. No, I mean it's tested that level so many times, and you're finally getting a nice candle at that level. I mean, every other one, you see all these tails here, that means reversals. That means it tried, but it couldn't. And you're not seeing that. You're seeing a Marabuzzo, which, if you don't know, Marabuzzo is the name of these candles when it doesn't even have an upper wick. This one has a small one, but when it
When it's
doesn't
as
have,
bullish, when it's as bullish as it could possibly be, we call it this crazy word that nobody could pronounce. Pat did it.
yeah, but Marabuzzo means I'm pretty sure means I don't speak Japanese, but I think it means bald. And the whole point is it doesn't have a upper tail, so no hair. Um, this one looks great though.
Viable here
Yeah,
against what, 15, 15 and a quarter?
yeah, I'd be looking to like 19 next.
Yeah.
But really, really constructive action this year. You're resolving higher out of a ascending triangle after testing it 5 times.
Yep.
Looks good.
Also with the financials theme, right? This is what do
Yeah,
you call it?
true.
Personal finance or the lending theme.
Would you say
UWMC.
this is also the a rate sensitive trade, like a
Oh yeah.
yeah
Oh yeah. They're
yeah
they're growthy, but they're also financials, right?
yeah
So 100%. They're lenders, right?
right? They're kind of at that perfect crossroad, right?
And you always want to ask yourself if you're entering a trade, what are its peers doing? So the closest comp that Rocket Mortgage has is the other top, residential mortgage provider in the country, which is UWMC, and that
Whoa,
one's already left the station,
and
right?
I've
So
never even heard. Ooh, ooh,
similar range there, and then you would ask yourself, well, if UWMC got it done and got the breakout in, why wouldn't Rocket, right? If you overlay these two charts, you'll see what I mean. It's the same thing.
yeah.
So that bodes well, I think, for this trade.
Oh, okay, yeah, they do look very similar. That's a great point. Yeah,
Same trade. This one's
yeah,
already going. I think Rocket follows. I love
yeah.
it, Pat. What was your favorite chart?
Ooh, man, I liked Fastenal, but that was a bit. I think you could probably buy Fastenal here. I'm sure there's another one that I'm missing that I forgot about. But I think it's also kind of hard to be a buyer today. I think today is great and awesome for what the bull market needed, but it's a tough spot to be buying here. I think just the incredible strength we've seen the last few days probably do need to see some sort of cool off phase. Maybe you're looking to buy some bull flags in the next few weeks. Um, but yeah, what about you?
Uh,
What do you think?
I like that. You got the VWAP recapture, which is huge. I'm going to go with something super actionable. I think Rocket, for one. I love that. I think it's so actionable here today. This one ran away from
Yeah,
me yesterday. I was trying to enter it, so I have no
yeah.
position. And then I'll also say Zoom. I have no
Okay.
position right now.
Wow.
That,
Wow.
that is
That's a
subject to
gutsy call,
change.
Steve.
This is the kind of market. So I'll tell you what
I
I did on Monday. I
I
got,
know. I'm just saying it takes courage. I
dude,
think
this is
you're
the
probably going to
market.
end up being right, but man, you got to have balls for this one.
They are running the worst stocks. And if they're wrong about Zoom being a zero, or at least being a zero for now, this thing could have upside easily to 75. It's got earnings coming up. You never know, right?
Yeah,
So I think this is the kind of market where you take big risks and look for big returns. This one gives you that. On Monday, I was entering new positions in Upstart, Unity Software. I'm looking at things like PayPal and Square, just absolutely beaten down trash names because they're running the heavily shorted stocks. They're running, the trash trade. That's all working. I think that's where you're going to go for outsized gains in the near term. Yeah, look, with the Russell doing something like this, look at
and dude, how about this? Like, if I just showed you, like, forget about today's candle. If I just showed you those, like, what is it, four gaps? Like, the fact that today's candle is one of the strongest, like, what? I mean, this is incredible. This is really something.
we're thrusting, dude.
That's-
We're thrusting. Small caps are screaming at us, right? We better be listening.
Yeah.
A big
Um,
message from the market since last week. One handle, two cups. Shouts out in the chat that Zillow Group is a Linsen stock. We love Howard. I don't know if I would call him a stock picker, but that's always nice. He knows tech things. I like it when Howard's on my side. Do you overthink it? Like
Oh
when you're
yeah, no, I think Howard's really good at spotting kind of secular trends, especially in tech.
yeah, he's a
Um,
megatrend guy. Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. But
You know
now,
that
man, I'll leave you with a Ben Graham quote, right?
give it to me.
The father of fundamental analysis. He said, "What matters in a bull market is imagination, not analysis." And I think that's
That's
kind
right.
of to your point about Zoom. I was telling you it takes a lot of balls to make that call, and it sounds crazy, but you got imagination, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you got to think, right?
Yeah, one handle, when we start melting up, you don't want to be talking about the underlying business. It doesn't matter, right? He's telling me Bill.com has a great underlying, fantastic, right? All that stuff goes out the window. When we reach like a euphoria stage, which will, in my opinion, be the next stage from here, right? This is like kind of like the big chase stage. Everybody's going
Yeah.
to be in, right? The bears are going to capitulate with the action that we've seen since last week. Then we'll be in euphoria, right? I don't know if it's a couple months or a couple quarters from now, right? At that point, correlations are spiking towards one. Everything's working. It's a buy everything market. We talked about on spaces.
Yeah.
Underlying business, like don't price to earnings. Those you want to like lose all of that you learned from your vocabulary and just forget about it because it's not going to matter. All
Yeah.
right, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, this is fun.
Always fun. We will be back on Thursday, guys, for whatever chart requests. I know we had to skip through some, but we did a really good job, Pat, like getting the most
Yeah.
things in. So
Yeah,
kudos to you.
yeah.
Anything we missed, bring it back for us on Thursday. I'll be on the charts. So we'll be back here, same time, same place, Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern time, Stock Market TV. In the meantime, join us on the morning show every morning, 8:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern time. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Cheers.